Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. If you can't, I can pick it up a little bit. My name is Ken Johnson, and I am very privileged to be here on behalf of conductor Vic Anderson and the Yorkville Community Band. I welcome you to this wonderful celebration of our nation's Day of Independence. We'll start today's program with a stirring rendition of our nation's anthem, arranged by Dr. Jack Stamp. Stand if you're able and join in singing with the Yorkville teacher and Mrs. Ashley Badger, our nation's anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Was that wonderful or what? This marks the 24th year of patriotic celebration with the Yorkville Community Band, and we are thrilled to be performing for you today and wish you a happy 4th of July. Our program includes today music of American composers, folk songs, marches, and nationalism, so sit back, relax, soak in the patriotic melodies and sounds, and enjoy your own Yorkville Community Band. Our next selection is a George and Ira Gershwin classic. It is from 1927 musical with the same name. It is upbeat, it's uplifting, and it's rousing. It's Americana at its best. It could very well be the ultimate of all concert openers. So without further ado, Mr. Anderson, strike up the band. Next, the band would like to play for you a ragtime march. The emergence of ragtime coincided with the great era of the concert bands. The similarities between the marches, two steps, cakewalks, and ragtime pieces resulted in intermingling of these forms. Carl King probably wrote this march, The Walking Frog, during 1917 or 1918, while he was director of Barnum and Bailey's circus. But it was not published until 1919 after he had left the circus. He originally wrote this piece as a circus clown walkabout, but its infectious charm soon made it a favorite with many of the other circus acts. Here is Carl King's The Walking Frog. The next selection we would like to perform is entitled With Quiet Courage. The piece was written by Larry Don in memory of his mother Lois Don. He included a poem about his mother in the notes about the composition. Her life was heroic but without fanfare. She worked and hoped and inspired. She loved and was loved. Her life was a noble song of quiet courage. The community band would like to dedicate today's performance of this selection to all men and women of the armed forces who served this country like Lois Dunn lived her life, with quiet courage. There's a cost to providing this wonderful music for you today, and it is only with their sponsorship that all of this is possible. Thank you to the Countryside Veterinary Clinic, John and Carol Schulz, Rob Robbins, Brenda Smith, Joel and Nancy Otteson, Yorkville Community Youth District 115, and the many anonymous donations made through GoFundMe.com. In addition, we're going to thank you ahead of time for your generous donations going into the donation boxes being circulated throughout the park today. In addition, we would like to thank Mark Friel and John Leese for their help and expertise with equipment hauling and loading, and Stan and Debbie Stadel for providing us with the water at the end of the parade. And finally, we would like to thank our founders and organizers, Yorkville community members and YHS alumni, Susan Munson and Linda Dewey. None of this would be possible without them. This Norman Rockwell picture that they paint here in the town square each year and every year is very special. Thank you for a wonderful 24 years from all of us. Let's hear it again. Okay, on with our program. Next, the band will perform music of the great American composer Aaron Copland. Copland became most famous for his populist style of composition through ballets such as Appalachian Spring, Billy the Kid, Rodeo, and other works such as Fanfare for the Common Man. Is a collage of themes from the works of Aaron Copland. It was written in 1985 to honor the eminent Brooklyn-born composer's 85th birthday. This adaptation enables concert band performers and their audiences to enjoy a varied sampling from the most popular music of one of America's most esteemed composers. A Copland tribute begins with the statement of Fanfare for the Common Man, a work for brass and percussion composed in 1942 to honor the role of the common man during World War II. Next come several passages from one of Copland's most celebrated works, the ballet Appalachian Spring. Included is the popular Variations on a Shaker Melody, "'Tis the Gift to be Simple." Appalachian Spring was premiered in 1944 and received the 1945 Pulitzer Prize for Music, as well as the Music Critics Circle Award for the 44-45 season. The piece concludes with music from two dance episodes from the ballet Rodeo, Buckaroo Holiday and Hoedown. We hope you enjoy our rendition of Claire Grundmann's A Copland Tribute. Thank you, band. Next, we would like to perform another march for you. Henry Fillmore was one of America's happiest musicians and one of its most successful and prolific composers. The music he wrote projected a jovial and earthly personality. His marches rank very high among our best. His honor, American's We and Rolling Thunder, to name a few, have been staple items in the band repertoire ever since the first publication in the small military band editions. The great American love affair with the automobile really began to heat up in the 1920s, when the family car drew us all to the roads. An old French word and new small rectangular building, the garage, became part of life. Long before the phrase standard equipment, the buyer of a new car had to add items such as a loud horn that worked when needed. The raucous sound of its name accomplished its commercial purpose. It was called a klaxon. When Fillmore's band played at the Cincinnati Automobile Show in January of 1930, he seized the opportunity to introduce a new march that was very appropriate for the occasion, the klaxon. Not content simply to play a new march named for an automobile horn, Fillmore dressed up the performance with another first, the introduction of a new instrument, the klaxophone. A brace of the noisy devices turned to play along with the band, presumably in the trio and the brake string. Commercial considerations apart, Henry obviously could not pass the chance to feature the horn section in any march that was entitled the klaxon. Theirs is the tune in the trio, a subdued and simple line while the percussion rests for 32 bars. The horns also take the melody for the final fade to the closing stinger. The klaxon is unusual and therefore typical Henry Fillmore. The next selection we will be performing includes 30 well-known melodies in just 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Yes, 30. It's insane, it's goofy, and it's just plain old fun. A very popular selection for the community bands and outdoor summer concerts. Harold Walters' Instant Concert will be sure to get you listening. How many songs can you recognize? Pay attention, we're going to have a quiz. That was fun. How many did you recognize? All of them? Anybody can repeat them? No? Okay. All right, it is unfortunate that President Chester A. Arthur, the man responsible for our next march, did not live to hear it. In a conversation with Sousa, then the leader of the U.S. Marine Band, he expressed his displeasure at the official use of the song, Hail to the Chief. When Sousa stated that it was actually an old Scottish boating song, the president suggested that he compose more appropriate music. Sousa responded with two pieces. First, he composed Presidential Polonies in 1886, and then 2 years after Arthur's death, he wrote Semper Fidelis, and I'm sure you're familiar with that. The march takes its title from the motto of the U.S. Marine Corps. Semper Fidelis means always faithful. The piece was dedicated to those who inspired it, the officers and the men of the U.S. Marine Corps. In Sousa's own words, I wrote Semper Fidelis one night while in tears after my comrades of the Marine Corps had sung their famous hymn at Quantico. Semper Fidelis is subsequently gained recognition as the official march of the U.S. Marine Corps. Sousa regarded it as his best march, musically speaking. It became one of his most popular marches, and he once stated it was the favorite march of the Kaiser, Wilhelm II of Germany, before the World War I, of course. It was played by the Sousa Band in many foreign countries and also received acclaim as well-known composition. Few know that it had been sold outright to the publisher for the unbelievably low sum of $35. And now the Yorkville Community Band with John Philip Sousa, Semper Fidelis March. Next, the band would like to play for you America the Beautiful. Catherine Lee Bates was inspired to write the poem using the stunning hymn when she was overtaken by the beautiful view from atop Pikes Peak. This arrangement, written by Carmen Dragon, has become the standard arrangements for all bands all over the country.
Isn't that beautiful? Okay, now for our second ragtime selection this morning. This syncopated march with rag rhythm, while referencing music from the early 20th century, was composed and published in 2014 by Al Sweet, a 93-year-old trombonist and composer from St. Paul, Minnesota. Featuring our Yorkville Community Band trombone section, which is dear to my heart because I played the trombone. Here is Sweet Trombone Rag. Well done, guys. The next selection we will perform for you is entitled Armed Forces Salute. This compilation of tunes features the hymns and anthems from the United States Air Force, Armed Forces. You will hear the klaxon song, Semper, the Marines hymn, the U.S. Air Force, and Anchors Away. We encourage all of you who can stand and have served to please be standing and be recognized. It is because of you that we continue to celebrate our independence. Oh, we hope you enjoyed today's performance, and in our tradition, we will end our concert in the park and send you on to the rest of your celebrations with the most popular march ever written, our national march, John Philip Sousa's The Stars and Stripes Forever. Thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate it. I think they deserve a big hand. They're wonderful.
Ken wants me to remind you to come and buy your raffle draw tickets at the Lions Club. So he deserves it. He did his community service right here. So thank you. Also, don't miss the Yorkville Big Band tonight at 8 p.m. in front of the funeral home on Route 47.
Thanks. Yeah.